Intensified global action against crimes associated with secrecy in corporate ownership. He disclosed this at the opening of the EITI conference ongoing in Jakarta, Indonesia. State House correspondent Maria Olashendi reports.
This is the EITI Extractive Industries Transparency Opening Up Ownership Conference in Jakarta. This conference is truly a milestone in the global fight against corruption. Nigeria's Vice President Yemi Osinbajo shares his views during the conference, pointing out that the dangers of corporate secrecy are evident across the world and makes no distinction between developed societies and the underdeveloped ones. He calls for global action against corporate secrecy and illicit financial flows.
We need to break down this world together, as we are all at risk of the evil effects of opacity in business ownership. Nigeria is still grappling with the negative consequences of the use of opacity by senior members of the government and their cronies between 1993 and 1998, awarding themselves juicy contracts in the extractive industry. One of such incidents involved a company, Malibu Oil and Gas, and this is still the subject of criminal and civil proceedings in many parts of the world, involving huge legal costs, while the full benefit of the natural resources remains unexploited for the benefit of the people of Nigeria, to which it belongs.
Driving home his point, Osinbajo mentioned some measures taken by the Buhari administration in the global campaign against corporate secrecy, such as Nigeria's membership of the Open Government Partnership and government's commitment to the National Action Plan that prioritizes the establishment of an all-encompassing and publicly accessible register.
You will recollect that Nigeria was one of the first set of countries to join the EITI, one of the 12 EITI implementing countries that piloted the beneficial ownership disclosure, and one of the few countries that have disclosed beneficial ownership details in 3 separate audit reports. Through our national EITI agency, which is the NEITI, we also published a comprehensive roadmap that will culminate in the establishment of the Register of Beneficial Owners of companies operating in our extractive sector.
EITI is about transparency. That's the ultimate goal. But transparency not as an end in itself. Transparency as a means to an end. And that end is to ensure that the resources of our country work for the citizens of Nigeria. If all of this money, if all of these hidden companies and hidden owners are exposed, then they're forced to pay the right taxes. Many of the people who own huge illicit resources, they also do not pay taxes because they've not even disclosed what they own.
The Vice President commended the efforts of the governments of the United Kingdom, Norway, Netherlands and Denmark for leading the way in establishing public registers of the real human owners of companies in their countries, and called on other G8 and G20 countries to follow suit. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo said Nigeria would remain on board the EITI ownership transparency train because they align with Nigeria's national priorities and will help to advance the electoral mandate of the Buhari administration, which is fighting corruption, combating insecurity, and growing the economy. Maria Olashendi, TVC News, Jakarta.